You sit down on a corner 9 o'clock in the morning with your friend them a talk about girl and Vybz Kartel you talk about and all. Vybz Kartel I make money from prison, you know. Vybz Kartel I make money from prison. Him have album a come out, him a make another album. Him have a book a come out January. You understand? Him have a book a come out January. Him have 2 albums I make you right now. Him alright. Apart from him get close in with 4 walls and 1 window.
Greetings, my viewers and subscribers. I hope you all are doing good. Hope you all are doing great. So your boy here come across this one wherein the main headline is Vybz Kartel book out plus a lot more from Mutabaruka. And guys, you will be also hearing from Dr. Umar Johnson in this big interview. So guys, this one is gonna be really interesting. So you wanna stay tuned and don't forget I'm here on the Black Unity program. So feel free to leave a like and subscribe to this channel if you're new. With that being said, let's go ahead and hear what Mutabaruka got to say in this one. My people, let's walk.
I want to put a different consciousness on this thing with age and how the youth them nowadays, hey, when you look on certain movie you hear about certain great man, you know, you think them all my age, you know, and some teenager man, you know, and some man in them 20s. We are talking about man like when you hear about history and you hear about all them king, Tut Akman and all them, I mean I call it right, Tut Ankman. I don't know big man, you know, I don't know big. Them do in them 30s, you know. And some youth them on the throne of Egypt and all them places, you know. Right? When you hear about all them man, you think they're some old man. I don't know, old man are young people. Young people. When you hear about Alexander the Greek, Alexander the Greek must be about 20 years old when them go attack Persia, you know. Yeah, when you hear about Joan of Arc are 19 years old, you know. When she rubbish and I get to that certain oppression in France and them kill her, burn her at stake 500 years after them call her saint. You hear about Sam Sharp and all them man, I don't know, 50-year-old man, you know, and some young people. Marcus Garvey was not old man, you know. When Marcus Garvey started you and I, you know, a young boy, you know. Alright, why may I say that? May I say that because the advertisement them so come up and we have to wait till the advertisement them come back. So she and your turn again. Why you gonna have one, you know. Long time him about, you know. Long time him about. You understand? And I see him son start sing too. Why you him son who do I interview with me couple months ago or a couple weeks ago. Okay, so we'll talk about this age thing where I only by the time when we read them history book there, we think that the people them are the heroes them in the book. It's some big 50-year-old man and all them thing there. I only by one don't realize that some of them is some teenager. I only by them ancient kings there. I don't know big man them, you know, and some are 13-year-old come king in them country, you know. Yeah, so it's not like say I want to say, but wait, them man, they are some big man to me, you know. No, go so, you know. Young people have to make a move. I want to see young people make move like, oh, young people, when me young, me used to make certain move, like first time. You know, see, we don't see them a make. Because most one just into some little things. Things, when we say things, them into things. You don't understand that? Into things. And not that a man though can't interested in that things, you know, but how far things are going to carry you. You know, when you know, some of them do have no friend, you know. Them just have some dog who sit down on corner with them. You know, I don't know you call your friend dog, but obviously it's not your friend. And if you listen to the song them with the man them are sing, you know, it's like them I say, boy, right now, them not have no friend and be careful of who you this, that, and man I take a man girl and man I take a man girl long time, you know, but it come like it more prevalent now. It's more prevalent, you know. So the argument is that How is it that these young people don't see nothing to stand for? Why them not see nothing to stand for? And when I say stand for something, I mean something that is of value. Not a M16 gun, you know, not a girlfriend where him have around the corner, but something valuable. You know, see, not the car where him have, him have nowhere to park it. Because most men buy a car and can't park it in the yard, or them park it on the sidewalk, each up beside that zinc fence. And them will want to move this, why not move the fence and build up something where him think is a better thing to do? Me know how to make a zinc fence look good, you know. But them, it's a wood house, and zinc fence is not part of poor people forte, you know. Them don't want to have no wood house and zinc fence. Them want black, building black, and concrete wall, and it make them feel like them move an inch nearer to whatsoever them are look for. When the sweetest and nicest looking house them may see in life, in all my tours all over the world, it's some wooden house. Not talk about places like Switzerland, South Africa. When you go to them places there, you go to California, the place them, when you see the house them, they are Malibu. I mean, Malibu is where almost the star them live. I don't know, big wild house, you know, a drugs man love, drugs man love Wally Park. Drugs man love Wally Park concrete, you know. A Wally Park silver really like that all job. Drugs man want him house look like that all job place, you know. When I tell you, that all job have all golden tile, you know. Well, him not have golden plated, but most drugs man are look for golden plate. All the man them will sell a scam. For them house look concrete, pan top of concrete, pan top of concrete. The sweetest looking house, them me say, is wood. Wood house. You know, one of the nicest looking, I don't know why I call it plaza, but it's a plaza still. It's Ochurious shopping center there. The Ochurious place where me again? By Golden Eye Virgin. Can't remember my name. Can't believe that. Anyway, everybody know how me attack. When you look on how him build that, and how it do be paint like paint or paint, you know. But when you look on it, you know say some serious start going to it. You know, see, you have wooden floor. The center of the thing is wood with some light posts and all them something there. You go to California, you see the same. You go to South Africa. In South Africa, you see some house, may I tell you, man. You see some house where it's wood and glass. You go to Switzerland, same thing. But we, in this part, poor people especially, them feel say them have a concrete house and wood and concrete wall, them feel them not reach nowhere. But it's not something that you must feel say you have made it because you build a concrete house. Because even though you have built concrete house, you don't own the land. And land is where we are going for. Land is supposed to be the part of it where you're supposed to really deal with. So me I say now, how is it that wait there. How is it that hush. Alright, we don't care to why we are laugh, but alright. You can go back to the train of thought. But you come disturb me for us. You know, I try, maybe so yeah, sure. I bring class up to the people, you know. Yeah. No, I don't eat me attack, you know. Chris Blackwell me attack, man. Chris Blackwell me attack. You show me the wrong thing. You see, now you go to make me body it out by the radio, you know. And Chris Blackwell me attack. Chris Blackwell build the center down and long way them. And if you look on him hotel, Golden Eye. No concrete building no in there, you know. And it's one of the most expensive places in the Caribbean, you know, and no concrete building no in there, you know. If you look at the cottage, them have, you know, it's separate cottages, them have round couple acres of land. And when you go in at the cottage, them, you know, all of it is wood, you know. All of it is wood. Even where the steel, them, where the house, them, upon is wood. You know, and it just looks so naturistic. You know, it looks like nature. Concrete make you feel like bagged up. You know, a man said me a thing, I say, when one door closed, the other open, the possibility that you might be in prison. Because don't get a prison, one door closed and the other one open. It's true. It's true. And concrete just make you feel like you're in a prison. I don't know if you're another man, you know, but it's a true, me used to the wood thing. You know. I don't really see that if you build a concrete structure tall gone up at the air, you reach. You don't reach nowhere. You understand? You don't reach nowhere. Because you have certain places that you can simply make certain things, you know. I'm going to some man house, man. Some drugs man house. When you see the man to go be, I'm going to some man house, you know. For them claim to fame is that them have a big concrete structure. Big concrete structure and a Mercedes-Benz parking at the front. You understand? That is for them claim to fame. Them feel proud of that. And when certain people look on them things there, them feel saw things for go. You understand? But man don't know say you can't have wood and you can't do it without have to take hard wood them from hardware and lumber, you know. You have some man who sell wood on the side of the road, you know, some real serious wood, you know. Where if you're creative enough, you can build a good structure out of them wood where nah rotten, you know, and if you feel that rotten, you go find in a hardware and lumber the thing where you peel upon the wood them for make insect and thing. Not teaching or take it up and them something there. And if you're creative, you can build a nice, beautiful house without having to go through the hustle and bustle of steel, cement, concrete, all sort of thing where you put and make it. Anyway, why me I bring up them something there, you know, is that I see the youth them on the road, sit down on the corner them, because sometimes during the time I leave Miami, I go early and come back early. So when I go down early, almost every corner I see some youth sit down. I say, but where them youth do on the corner them over there? I tell you, nearly every one of them, if 5 youth on the corner, the 5 youth them have a plastic cup in them hand with liquor thing in the back. It never them not go full it because of liquor, alcohol. Them have alcohol in the plastic cup. What the hell a teenager youth or a youth in their 20s and even 30s a dope in a corner 9 o'clock in the morning and a drink alcohol, and when him see you a pass, him a wave you down from you pass already, you know. But him a hope say you go stop, you know. And you don't want to stop, you know. Not because of my car, you don't want to stop, you know. But you see through the traffic in front of you, say, the man will blow you if you slow down. And if you go on the side of the road, a man will say, you block the traffic too. You just drive. But you know exactly what they want, you know. What my father, what you can do for me. Sometimes me I go look it to, you know. When they ask me, but sometimes me I go look it, you know. And me I go try pay somebody who made it over for a long time. I'm not trying to do some business which can enhance my life and my family and all something there. But I see the youth them sit down on the corner and it marvel me and it puzzle me. That the youth them should have sit down on the corner 9 o'clock in the morning and have rum in a them cup, a drink, and it's like a fashion statement. It's a fashion statement. Oh, the hell drinking liquor in a 9 o'clock in the morning is a fashion statement. Who come up with them madness there? Who come up with them madness there? How the youth them in a Jamaica See the ear chain, a spliff and a cigarette. I never talk about how them a grind them think the migla them on. And then them a talk to you like, what father? Me I say, brethren, who's your mother? Me know you're a legitimate child of mine, I don't know you. And them get vexed, but me I say, but me have to make you get vexed, brethren, because me don't understand how me get up early in the man for go look about my business. But could have cost me more money than what me have. And you sit down on a corner with a plastic cup in your hand and a big rasta. And when me look on your shoes, it's a Clarks you have on. Clarks you have on, you know. Eh? How much for your Clarks? About $10,000 for your Clarks. How much for your Clarks? I don't even know how much for your Clarks. I forgot to ask only so much for your Clarks, you know. Because I look like him have a whole heap of color. Maybe him don't have an orange one, but I know him have green ones. Enough green one, because I probably start with the green one. A whole heap of youth one, green Clarks. You see all them madness there? You see all them, like a Donald Trump thing, you know. Donald Trump no want to wear masks. Him follow them no want to wear no masks, you know. Him put on Clarks. Everybody want Clarks. The youth them who can't afford it now, I want to wear Clarks. Oh, you. I'm here to talk to the youth them right now, because a whole heap of ones listen to me. I can't tell me I hear. But I'm going to tell you them I listen to you. All right, here we go. Oh, in whatsoever name, you sit down on a corner 9 o'clock in the morning with your friend them talk about girl and Vybz Kartel you talk about and all. Vybz Kartel I make money from prison, you know. Vybz Kartel I make money from prison. Him have album I come out, him make another album. Him have a book I come out January. You understand? Him have a book I come out January. Him have 2 albums I make you right now. Him alright. Apart from him get close in with 4 walls and 1 window. But how the hell you can sit down on a corner them hours a man in the rasta? And when you see certain people apart, you wave them down for come ask them for money rasta. And he's a youth. And me know saying that history is a youth them do things. Most of the people them here change the world are some young people. Are some 20-year-old man. I don't know, big man like me, pave a way and hope say, when you pass the baton, another man will pick it up and another man supposed to be younger than you and just move with it. You don't see it? And I feel weird. I feel weird about it. I feel weird about it. I look at it and say, but wait, in history, it's them same youth there make a change in the earth, you know. It's them same youth there do certain things that other people can come make a thing of him life and all them way there. I don't know, old people. Nanny was no old man, you know. Paul Bogle was no old man, you know. Sam Sharp was no old man, you know. Marcus Garvey no old man, you know. You understand? And if you look on even in Europe or Africa, I don't know, old people them do them things there, you know. The old people them more and much along the place, you know, and they destroy the whole thing. You don't see? So what going to happen? What going to happen? When you see a little youth on the road, you see me see a little youth on the road that sell all ackee. More you little youth to the on Oliver Road, you know, we sell ackee in a rasta because sometimes I don't want ackee, but I know that I like me at but sometimes I don't want ackee. I want ackee every day. Every day I want ackee. But when I see myself them ackee, you know, I have to stop it. And sometimes I'm joking and say, brethren, my ackee tree take off the ackee there. You ever plant an ackee tree yet? Look how much ackee we are eat. And who plant them ackee there? A man like me when you did young, when we did young, we plant the ackee tree. The same breadfruit tree, the same pear tree. And I look for 60-year-old man, I plant them tree that where people are eat off, you know. And some youth like where them man, they will sit down, them youth, they will sit down on the corner. And them same one, at that kind of age, they did plant the ackee tree, them where we come and reap off and now. Where the breadfruit tree, they have 20, 30 years. And a man dead and come reap off it, and the next man dead and come reap off it. The pear tree, them, the jackfruit tree, them, the neesberry tree, them, the custard apple tree, them, all of them tree there. And all them youth you planted, because most of them youth you can't show you a tree where them plant and say, why is that tree here? Hey, when we reach all 30, you know, I'm going to sell ackee off of that, you know. I'm going to sell breadfruit off of that, you know, because them know in that. Them know in that. You know, see, them want Ennison and Clark's booty and get a drive in a them friend car. That is really a go on. Them want to drive, especially an artist. And the artists twist up them brains too. Because the artists make them feel like, say, if them reach, if the artists reach, them friend reach, not go so. You know what I'm saying? Mother have, father have, God bless the child who have him own. Artists have, him make it and him go tour. A film things. And don't pressure the artists. Because the artists go all over the place. In the ruggedness. In the whole heap of TSA, them at the airport. And Aslan Dazzle. For go catch flight and thing and promote and over and pay you and all them something there. And you have to come back now. And you amongst your brethren them. And the only reason why them amongst you is because them want to dig you out. Them want to dig you out. And them there just sit down so and I wait for you come from foreign. You know see? Them say wait for come from, you know, see a man come off a man come off a plane, you know. And him brethren out there, you know, and him a driver, Escalade. Remember, that day everybody want Escalade, now Escalade turn Earth. Most of the Escalade, them are Earth, you know. Alright. The man come off of the plane, and him brethren have a Escalade come for him, you know. And when in the Escalade, you know, it's television, it's phone where you have to touch, you have to put it on your ears and all them something, man. And the man will come off of the plane, look on him brethren, will have the Escalade and the phone and can say, so we are going to Jamaica. Him say, why you want to nothing now go out there? You know? Him said nothing now go out there. That's the way. You have an Escalade. You have phone. You have this and that in your car. And when you drive while you're out of one of them big concrete structure there, where you carry to the top of the building, and then you said nothing now go on. You understand? It gives the impression that when you're up on the corner, you say, boy, nothing now go on. And the youth, them a keep and say, nothing now go on. Of course, nothing now go on. Feed them. Because them now do the things them to make things go on. You can't sit down on the corner with no careless dog and not talk about, say, nothing now go on, but you have rum in your hand and you have sure, it's terrible, man. Jamaica reach a way where it's disgusting, man. It's disgusting. So what we are going to do? What we are going to do? Because if you tell a youth, say, well, I'm going to give you some sucker for go plant. So say, well, I see what the brethren tell me, you know. A brethren, remember the brethren that call the night and them say, boy, I'm a plant in pine. You know, pine is a terrible thing for plant. You know, because it's a juke you up all when you're applying it, you know. And him a plant him pine him and I reap some of the pine him and I youth pass and I say, Mr. B, beg you two of your pine now. And him say, pick two over yourself. Him say, no, sir, I'm not pick it, Rasta. Because what? Him no want go over there go pick the pine. But him want the man go over there go pick the pine for him. Because the man had the man pine and the man tell him to go pick it, you know. You know, see it? And little more now when the man now look at them go over there go pick the pine and teeth it, you know. It's a terrible thing, you know. It's a terrible thing. So more you can't sorry for nobody more than so when you see a youth or when you see a youth that do certain things, you know. Him foot no broke. Him can't see, him now walk with no stick. You know, see it? It's not like him a walk with stick and him can't walk, but I guess him have diabetes or you know, something happen physically wrong with him or his mind look cloudy. It's a normal youth. But when you see him dance to the little him cell phone, him put him cell phone on the wall and I dance to the tune them popcorn and them tune them on it and I do all the latest move them. 9 o'clock in the morning and him just come from party. What kind of thing that? And me big man so now. If we go support him and him can't do for himself, man do for yourself, brethren. Me not cuss, you know, but me a cuss still. Me feel a way, me feel a way when a youth When me see a buy like Clark shoes and liquor and I come beg me money, I just that me I say. I just that me simple that. Me feel a way when me see a youth stand up with 4 man and him come out of the crowd and when me look upon him have the latest this and the latest that and I beg money. Where him get them things from? I'm friend from foreign and preacher and get it, you know. I'm friend from foreign and preacher and get it. And then tell say nothing now go on. And you see the youth them say sell food on the road. They will take away the youth food, you know. Hey, yo. Make it two of them period, you know. And the brother said, no, sir, tell me, I tell the parents, say, why? You have a plant period and grab the man period. Good all one box him in face, though. You know, see, because I feel him period, but I don't feel him period. And the youth, they try to make a hustling. We need to support the youth them who depend on the road, who genuinely are sell things. Yes, you have youth where him get him knife, him go get some jackfruit and him cut it up, put in a plastic bag and him a sell it. Him have him apple them. I don't business where him get it from. Maybe I have a background master land and I just him supposed to go get them too. Or have a king's house. Make sure them not catch him. Because the last man him catch a pick occupant pan king's house, him get 6 months for a dozen aki. 6 months for a dozen aki him get. We need to get serious about the life. We get serious about the life. It's so long me I talk about this because it's something that pain me. Because after recently I find myself I left me yard and I go down early to come up back early. And every time I drive go down, I see it. Me hardly see no woman. I drink you know, with plastic bottle on the road in that early morning. Me not see them in there, but it don't crisscross my brain to say, look at them woman they do it. No. Because most of the time a woman I try hustle. Most of the time the woman I try hustle. Because most of the people who see herself on the road, a woman them I try hustle. You know see? So we can't take that from them because some women that prefer sell them body than beg your money. You understand? I mean I take that from them neither. You see, me's one man I tell you, me not take that from them because here I not take it from them. You see them woman who sell them body, sometimes the man cause it. A man cause them to do it. Man left them with the pick of them and the pick them up for God's school and a mother love bind them. When a mother love a child, it bind them. No care what the pick they do, it bind them. You know see, through thick and thin it bind them. The man just go and go do have another pick over there, another pick over there, another pick over there. So you know see, it's just that. So me I say to the youth them, think about Marcus Garvey and the difference of Marcus Garvey making at a young age. Think about Paul Bogle. And if you want to go to Europe, think about Alexander. If you want to go to Egypt, think about Tut. They don't reach my age, them fear. Watch out, them fear they never even live my age. For sure you're terrible. Tut man, when them find him tomb, him was about 20. About 20-year-old. You know see. And me mention Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc in her teenager life, when she had cut short with neck, with sword, with her sword. You know see, you have some man in a Greece and some fighter, some warriors, soldiers who have fight for them country and have fight for overcome the odds of invaders and all them something there. All of them slave rebellion. I don't know, old people lead them slave rebellion there, you know. A young people, the same looking people where they sit there on the corner of the road now. I show off for them class booty and which girl them back up and jack up last night. And them kind of people there make a change in the earth. So what kind of change you are going to make now? What kind of change you are going to make? Because by the time you get over that side of your life, you know, a whole heap of things pass you and it get harder for you. It get harder for you. You know, see, the youth who up on the road that sell something is more likely for future, be more progressive than you who sit down there so and wait for somebody to come to you with something to give you, or you go beg somebody, or thief it from somebody. Because that is where it all reach now. You start to think vicious now, wicked now, say, why the only thing out of this thing is to get a gun. And that is how you start to look at it now, say, you have to have a gun. Because the only way you can get out of this poverty now is with a gun. Watch out. Damian Marley, I want tune, you know, I want to play it a little more. When that person, I'm going to look for that, I'm going to look for the music. You know, say, gunman world. Yes, most gunman poor. Because the man who give the gun, check how him a live. And check how you a live. And when you go shoot a man, check how you have to live when you shoot the man, because you have to hide from him, who you get the gun from. Or, you know, say most men who get shot, most reprisal killing is because a man borrow a gun from a man, or rent a gun from a man, and him could show him a run from him, drop the gun and can't find back the gun, or him can't find the gun because somebody thief the gun from him, and the man say, bring back my gun, not bring back my gun, bring back my shoes, come give me. Bring back my shoes. You know, see, and him can't find the shoes, little more you see him end up in a cocos bag. You know, see, the man them make that all in a music video now. A music video, it can't, I know, you know, sure the thing get ready, you know. The man them blatantly now put them thing there in a music video. I saw it go. So, I'll come off of this now. I'll come off of this because it's something where, and nobody was on no pastor either. Because the pastor them is just as bad. The pastor them is extortionist. And some extortionists because look on all the COVID, you know. You hear any pastor get better in the body. All the church talk and the churches, the people in the church are catch COVID. You see them are going to any hospital and not save anybody. Them not save nobody, them can't even save themselves.
That is why Jesus walked into the temple and he whipped people out. He said, all of you get out. One by one, get out. What are you selling? You're selling doves, get out. What are you selling? You're selling wristbands, out. What are you selling? You're selling anointing oil, Puma, out. What are you selling? You're selling stickers, oh, Puma, out. What are you selling? You're selling anointed towels, for what? Out. Tell me one man of God right now who's using his own anointing oil as a hand sanitizer. Tell me one pastor right now. Listen, you are sitting here and you are sitting here. Tell me now, we are in quarantine together. We are quarantined together. We are isolated together. Tell me now, if there is any pastor you have heard or seen, all those pastors will sell anointing oil. Tell me if there is any pastor you have heard that is saying my anointing oil can work as a hand sanitizer. Tell me of all the pastors all over the world and all the prophets who've been claiming that they can heal the sick, who've been claiming that they're all powerful and mighty. Tell me one of those pastors we have gone to pray for coronavirus patients. Not even one. And you come and tell me that even after this corona passes, you will still march back to that church. You need deliverance. I'm telling you. You need deliverance. After corona passes, you will still take your Bible and say, Papa, pray for me because I'm having a chest pain. You are a fool. You are a fool. After coronavirus passes, you still take a Bible and say, I want the men of God to pray for me. Oh, I want to go and line up for deliverance. If you could not pray for any coronavirus patient, so let me declare and make this bold statement tonight. Yes, sir. Any pastor who cannot pray for coronavirus patients now is prohibited after coronavirus to be calling for healing services. Any pastor who cannot go to the hospital right now to pray for coronavirus patients, let us not hear you or see you on the poster after corona has passed, calling people for healing and deliverance. Thunder will strike you. I'm telling you. Thunder will fire you wherever you are. If you have power of healing, call for a healing and deliverance session at your house. Tell them, bring coronavirus patients to my house. This is the time where the power that you claim to have must be seen.
Amen, amen. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and hear what Dr. Umar Johnson got to say in this big interview. Fully active as it is.
Dr. Umar Johnson, welcome to Vlad TV.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. You know, big fan of your work. Saw you on the Breakfast Club a few times.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we're real close to Charlemagne. Charlemagne's been on the show with us for many, many years.
Okay. Okay.
So let's talk about your background. Where'd you grow up exactly?
North Philadelphia, North Central Philadelphia. Born and raised, still live there.
Okay. And what was the environment like when you were growing up?
We grew up humble. I wouldn't say poor because I think poverty is more of the spirit than it is of the economic realities in which a person lives. You know, my mother, my father, they did the best they can to raise us. They did a good job. Love them both. They still here on the earth, breathing air with me. I love North Philadelphia. It's home. It's where I come from. So my roots are still there. I still hang out there. Many of my friends are still there.
Now, what was it growing up in that environment that started to really kind of mold the kind of life that you went on to live?
I would say that began to take place when I was in 4th and 5th grade. I attended a elementary school, George G. Meade Elementary, named after one of America's Civil War generals. We had a mandatory Black history class, 4th and 5th grade, which was taught by Miss Vivian Green, or Lillian Green, Miss Green, who I incidentally ran into a couple years ago. And I think it was the Black history class that really gave me a sense of purpose, a sense of direction, a sense of motivation. Subsequent to that, I went to my first family reunion with my father in Baltimore, Maryland. I believe I was in the 6th grade, and we were walking in the backyard of a church, and there was plenty of Frederick Douglass memorabilia there. And I asked my father, why is there so much Frederick Douglass memorabilia here? And he said, because you are related to him. And it was at that family reunion, the Bailey family, that's when I learned I was related to Frederick Douglass. So I think the 4th and 5th grade Black history class with the 6th grade encounter of realizing I was related to arguably the greatest Black leader in American history, I think that kind of set me on my purpose, and it was solidified after I graduated from Millersville University, became a school psychologist back in the year 2000, and found how special education and ADHD were being used as weapons of mass destruction against African American boys. And so the purpose found its rooting in advocating for our children within the miseducation machine.
Mm-hmm. Now you got your doctorate?
Yes, sir. From the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine, July of 2012, American Psychological Association approved program. I would add a disclaimer to that. As you've probably seen in the world of social media, some of the brothers and sisters in my community have created or falsified claims that I did not have a doctorate. Part of that stems from the fact that I never advertised the schools that I graduated from. Obviously, when I speak at universities, they have to vet my background, so I have to provide that information to them. The reason I never advertised the universities is I know that many of them would take issue with what I stand for, what I'm working towards, and my opinions on things. So if I ran around saying I went to PCOM, if I ran around saying I attended Millersville University, if I ran around saying I have a master's in educational leadership from Lehigh University in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, some people might draw the erroneous conclusion that they support my work. And so out of respect for those institutions, I don't go around with a banner with their names on it, because I feel that who I am and my reputation and background is sufficient to support the premises that I stand on.
Now, how many years did you end up going to school?
5 years of undergrad, Millersville University, double majored, psychology and political science, graduated, came back to Philadelphia, started a master's program in clinical psychology at Hahnemann University. It was too expensive, so I decided to go back to Millersville. I was Black Student Union president. I was a student leader there. And so I felt if I went back to Millersville, I could get the education paid for. And so I went back and I enrolled in the school psychology program. And I was actually motivated partly to do that by the director of Hahnemann's program, who told me that if you're going to go back to Millersville, get your school psychology cert, because even after you get your doctorate, you cannot test for special education without a school psychology cert. So that was from January of 98. I graduated 2 days before my 25th birthday in 2000. And then I completed my 1-year internship with the School District of Philadelphia, 2001. Subsequent to that, I was a school psychologist with the School District of Philadelphia 5 or 6 years, after which I resigned, became a assistant principal at a Philadelphia charter school, and then went into private practice as a school psychologist, which I've been doing since then.
I mean, with my audience, which is the hip hop community,
Yes, sir.
education is not always, celebrated. Like when you look
Yes, sir.
at all the biggest rappers today, like you can name very few that actually finished college.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like the Puffies did a year or two. I think J. Cole, I'm not sure if
Yeah,
J. Cole
J. Cole
graduated.
attended college.
Oh, he graduated?
I'm not sure if he completed, but I know he attended.
See, but that's what I'm talking about. Like in terms of completing college, hip hop doesn't celebrate that, as much as like someone's street cred or stuff
Right.
like that, or sometimes even someone's jail time.
Yes.
Now, what was it for you? Why was it important for you to get an education?
For me, I was the first of my mother's children to get an opportunity to go to college. Also, being a student of Black history, understanding that ancestral struggle for an education, it meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to me. Some of my friends, they transferred out of Millersville University. I don't know if they completed or not. Some of them did. I decided to stay. A lot of us didn't like it at Millersville, predominantly white, Amish context, a lot of racism, not much there in terms of Black cultural affirmation. But I said, I'm here, I'm gonna make the best of it, and I'm gonna finish. And I think that it was by divine design that my undergraduate institution happened to have had the school psychology program. Because had not Millersville had the school psychology program, I wouldn't be a school psychologist today. I would have been a pure clinician. Now, my doctorate is in clinical, but it's my school psychology certification through which I do most of my work, and as you know, for which my name has been built. So I don't think that was a coincidence. I think we have to understand the context in which African-American men are reared, educated, and socialized in America. Education itself is not valued in the African-American community, nor is education of African-American males valued by the larger political construct. When you look at our community, Black males are rewarded only for being athletes and entertainers. They are not rewarded for being academically excellent. The political structure does not reward them. The religious structure does not reward them. The economic structure does not reward them. I'm also a former school principal, and even in the schools, athletics is given more respect than academic excellence. A mentally gifted child who's at the 99th percentile academically, he may be one of the brightest students in the state or nation, will not get as much attention as an underachieving African-American male athlete who may be failing 3 or 4 subjects in school, but because he has a great jump shot or he can catch a football, he gets celebrated more than the academic achievers. So I think we, as the African-American community, have to look at that, but we also have to realize that America has a history of undervaluing the intellectual achievements of African-American people.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, you're actually trying to own your own school or buy your own school? Like, explain that to me.
The Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy is a school that I conceived of a very long time ago, but began to actually put teeth into the creation of that school a couple of years ago. We're interested in acquiring the St. Paul's College, Lawrenceville, Virginia. It's an HBCU, closed down about 3 years ago, and has just been sitting there unoccupied for 3 years. There's a $2 million price tag on that property. We've raised $700,000 over the past year and a half to try to acquire that property. However, although St. Paul's is still very much an interest of mine, I'm beginning to change my sights and start looking at other schools, because having sat for 3 years, obviously the quality of the upkeep is a concern. I had someone go and do an inspection on the school, a realtor who told me I would need to put at least $1 million into the property after I purchase it. So it's not looking as bright as an option as it used to. Still want it. If they called me today and said, listen, bring us that $700,000 and we'll work with you, I'm on my way. Make no mistake about it. But because they're not offering to work with me, I have to start exploring other opportunities, such as starting with a regular community school, 300 to 500 students, and then evolving into the residential academy that I want. But my concept is residential academy. I attended a residential academy, Scotland School for Veterans Children in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, which is now closed. So I understand the benefit of being able to control a child's entire environment.
Well, that's interesting. You actually want to buy and control your own school. You don't
Yes.
see too many people that actually aspire to that.
No, many of us have fell for what I would call the charter school hustle or the charter school trap. Charter schools have actually been on the rise concomitantly as we've seen a decline in African American independent schools. When charter schools were created in 1990, they were created so that white folk could take public money and educate white children in a school that legally could not be called private, but could pretty much operate as if it was private. So the charter school was a compromise. How do I defund public education without funding private education, since we have a separation of church and state clause in public education? So the charter school was that compromise. Once African Americans started getting involved, and of course, Philadelphia, I live where we have the largest amount of charter schools in the country, Philadelphia, and some of the oldest ones. We also see a backlash against charter schools where they're shutting them down. And I always was not a big proponent of charter schools because I understood that if the state controls it and the state owns it, ultimately at the end of the day, if they want to put you out of business, they can. And that's exactly what they've been doing. We've seen more African American charter schools across the country be shut down between 2014 and 2015 than we've seen at any other period since charter schools were created. And there's normally three justifications they use to shut the doors on charter schools. One, financial mismanagement. There's $50 in a $2 million budget unaccounted for. And since we can't find the $50, we're taking your charter. Second, you don't have enough certified public school teachers. And so charter schools, when they first started, did not require that all teachers were certified. Now, many states are requiring 100% teacher certification. What is that doing to the African American male teacher population? It's shrinking it. So charter schools that once had 50 black male teachers may only have 1 or 2. Charter schools that have an African foundation may now have predominantly white teachers teaching because they can't find enough African American teachers certified. And the third and the biggest reason for what they use to justify shutting down black charters is low test scores. Your children are below basic. You don't have enough of them who are proficient. So we're going to put you into corrective action, AYP, 2 years. Test scores don't go up. We shut the door. But the truth is, they're not shutting the door because of test scores. They're not shutting the doors because of money. And they're not shutting the doors because of teacher certs. They're shutting the doors because many of these African American charter schools are in the middle of districts that have been targeted for gentrification. We need these black children out the way because this is supposed to be a strip mall. This is supposed to be a new corporate building. They have to go. So the powers that be work with the political structure and work with the school district to manipulate a lot of African American charter schools out of existence. In Philadelphia, 3 black charter schools have been shut down this past year alone.
Now, I've seen some of the talks that you've had about the school that you're starting. Now, you want the school to be strictly African in terms of overall its focus?
Yes, the concept, the foundation will be Pan-African nationalism and the principles of African culture. I am a Garveyite, so we are revolutionary Pan-African nationalists, which basically means what? African self-determination in all things. Okay, if the Chinese have their own self-sustaining community, if Anglo-Saxons have their own self-sustaining community, if the Arab and the East Indian have their own self-sustaining community, we need ours as well. Our concept is what is to be done for black people must be done by black people. Legally, you cannot say that this school is only for black children, even if it is private. You are not allowed to discriminate in education on the basis of race. As you know, in 1954, Brown versus Board of Education decision said you cannot use race in education. So I can't say this is a black boys' school. Okay, I know that 99.9%, if not 100% of my students will be of African descent, but I cannot say that. Ironically, you can only discriminate on the basis of gender or sexuality in public school. So you can have an all boys school, you can have an all girls school, you can have an all gay school, but you cannot have an all black school.
You can have an all gay school?
Oh yes,
that's a legality.
Chicago has one. I also believe there's an academy here in New York that I think might be specifically for LGBT students to protect them from being bullied and such things. I just read an article, Atlanta, I believe they're starting an all LGBTQ charter school, I think.
Well, you made some comments about the type of school that you want started. You know, number one, you know, since we're talking about the whole LGBT thing, you said that nobody that's, I guess, sexually confused is going to be allowed as a teacher in your school.
Yes, that is correct. Now, that's going to be tricky as well. Why? Because you cannot discriminate in hiring on the basis of sexuality either. So is it possible that someone who is sexually confused ends up getting hired at my school? I should hope I do all in my power to prevent such a thing from happening. Okay, but it is possible. But if that be the case, then I'm going to have to do something to reverse that, because although I do not hate, okay, or advocate harm against members of the LGBT community, I do not see that lifestyle in any way, shape, or form being in the best interest of African people. One of the misconceptions of my work is that I hate gays or I want to harm gays. But as a scholar who has more videos on YouTube than any other black scholar alive, I get invited to speak across the world more than any black scholar on the planet. You can't find anything in any message of mine where I've ever advocated harm or hurt against homosexuals. In fact, as a psychotherapist, I do therapy and have done therapy with homosexuals, and I can tell you that when it comes to suicide and low self-esteem and depression, they're at the top of the list for it. So even though I don't agree with the lifestyle, I can still validate the life of the person who practices the behavior.
Why do you say sexually confused as opposed to just gay?
I say sexually confused because in the African cultural construct, we believe that the universe was founded on an absolute balance of masculine and feminine energy, positive and negative, yin as well as yang. For every man there's a woman, for every woman that there is a man. We believe that complementarity, the balance or attraction of opposites, is what the universe is built upon. Every atom has a positive charge and a negative charge. It's what allows the universe to exist. For the sun, there is the moon. For water, there is for earth. For the masculine, there is for the feminine. So from an African perspective, and you will find this perspective very, very prevalent throughout the continent of Africa. Most of us as African people are not pro-homosexual. You don't find any evidence of any African civilization, traditionally speaking, where homosexuality was allowed, considered normal, or openly practiced. We cannot prove that no one was ever not gay, but we can prove that no African society ever legitimized the behavior as something that was to be accepted and practiced openly.
Well, you said that no black child is born gay.
Yes, I believe that. And of
Does
course,
that,
in
does that only
psychology,
apply to black children or just children in general?
I think it's children in general. And that's a big debate in the world of mental health. Psychiatry, psychology, are people born gay? Well, here's the question. Can behaviors be inherited? We know disease can be inherited. We know physical traits can be inherited, okay? But inheriting a behavior? This comes from eugenics. Francis Galton, who was Charles Darwin's cousin in London, came up with this movement called eugenics, which means good stock. It's from where Adolf Hitler in the United States of America and the other racist government sought to create a program of population control and extermination. He said that white people were genetically superior to everyone and that black people were genetically inferior to everyone. And he said that we need to selectively bring about the extermination of Africans by limiting their gene pool, and we need to selectively breed white people into a quote unquote master race, which Adolf Hitler picked up and ran away with. Incidentally, I was in Hitler's birthplace last week in Austria speaking, but nonetheless, it was a psychologist who created the eugenics movement, and arguing that people are born gay supports the eugenics premise, because their idea is that all social problems of black people are a direct result of defective DNA. They say if the black man sells drugs, it was in his DNA. If he drops out of school, it was in his DNA. If the black woman is unmarried with 6 or 7 children, it was in her DNA. They blame all social phenomena on genetics. Blaming genetics on homosexuality, from my perspective, is another way of trying to validate eugenics through the back door. I believe people are exposed to it. I believe that they can be manipulated into it. I believe that they can be socialized. For example, I've been a therapist for almost 20 years. I've met a lot of homosexual black males in my work. 95% of the homosexual African-American men I've worked with and Latino were sexually violated as a child before the age of 12. Nearly everyone. So for me, I don't need to look at the studies from Harvard. I don't need to look at the studies from Yale. I don't need to look at the studies from the University of Pennsylvania. My experience, direct work with people in my community makes it clear that the number one, it's not the only route to homosexuality, but the number one route to sexual confusion for black males is molestation, pedophilia before the teenage years.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the big debate, you know, in the gay community, is whether they were born that way or whether something happened or whether it was just a choice. You know, I don't know. It's one of those things where I haven't been around enough children to really make my own conclusion. You know, I have heard from some of my friends that you sometimes see kids from a very young age start to have certain
effeminate traits,
behaviors, where you see boys doing kind of feminine type things.
But feminization and homosexuality are different though.
Yeah.
For example, in the schools where I work, there's a kid I can think of right now. He's very effeminate. He's 7 years old. His ways are very effeminate. Why? He has nothing but sisters at home. The father's not there. He's almost exclusively raised by the mother and the grandma. You become like that which you are around. So the mother will call me up and say, Dr. Johnson, my son is picking up my daughter's doll. What is he supposed to do if he doesn't have any male playmates so he understands boys are socialized to play with different toys? So the mother is concerned that he may be homosexual. I'm telling her, your son at 7 or 8 years old isn't even thinking about sex. He's not even thinking about sex. This is not a case of a boy being gay at 7. This is a case of a young African-American male who's being socialized around women and is simply picking up their behavior traits. When he gets older and he's around more socialized to be around males, you will see his behavior may change. So it's very important that we don't confuse effeminate behavior, which is the outward manifestation of stereotypical female behavior traits, with homosexuality, which is a sexual attraction to someone of the same gender. 7-year-olds aren't sexually attracted to anyone.
Well, like recently we had a story about Young Thug, and what he said that when he was 12 years old, because his feet were so small that he would wear like girls like glittery shoes to school, and his dad would beat him over doing that, but he said he didn't care, he did it anyways. Now fast forward however many years, 10 years forward, or I don't know how old he is, but early 20s, Young Thug is wearing women's clothes on a regular basis.
Okay.
His latest album cover, he's wearing a full-blown dress.
Okay.
And he's doing Calvin Klein ads wearing a dress and so forth. Like, when you look at that, are you saying that Young Thug could just like dressing in dresses and not be gay at all, based on what you're saying?
Oh yes, you can definitely cross-dress and not be gay, without question. In fact, that's one of the diagnoses in psychology, is this thing where people have this urge to dress like the opposite gender, but not necessarily be interested in living sexually as a member of the opposite gender. Now, going back to the scenario you just gave, and of course, I don't know Young Thug, I've never evaluated him or did therapy, but just based on what you said, his father beat him for wearing the high heels. He didn't explain to him why he shouldn't. He physically abused him, okay? That is a form of emasculization, you understand? For a boy to be constantly physically abused by his father, that can lead to low self-esteem. That can lead to him questioning his efficiency or ability to operate his life as a man should. And by virtue of the verbal and physical abuse by his father, homosexual thoughts could have been triggered purely from that. So I'm seeing contextual variables that could have played a role into the brother ultimately taking on a homosexual lifestyle. But it wasn't the wearing of the shoes, and it wasn't the DNA, and it wasn't that he knew at such a young age that he would want to be gay. I think the father and the treatment of the son by the father may have triggered that. For example, I come across cases of African-American boys who are verbally abused by the mother or the father, constantly told, what is wrong with you? Why are you not as good as I am? Why you don't want to play sports? Why are you acting like a girl? They're constantly told they're female. So guess what? They begin to shy away from their identity as a male because they've been told that it's insufficient. You will never be an effective male. So you automatically pull back. You start hanging around girls because you don't feel adequate around the boys. And it only takes one experience with a strong member of the sexually confused community to bring someone who's lonely, looking for a place to belong, to bring them on over. I see it in the high schools all the time. I'll see a kid, I say, this kid is weak and vulnerable. If that gang comes over here, okay, or if that person, that sexually confused individual meets them and takes them under their wing, they're going to end up having that experience, and it might change the rest of their life. It wasn't genetics. It was exposure, experience, socialization, and conditioning. Many people deny being nurtured into homosexuality. They argue nature. One of the reasons why you see this denial is because if I admit that I was not born this way, that it is a choice that I control. And by the way, all behavior is a choice. There is no behavior under the sun I'm aware of that people do not have free will to choose until homosexuality. This is the first behavior ever where the argument or the dominant paradigm that we're being told, the narrative, is people don't choose it. You choose whether you go to work or not. You choose whether you kill someone or not. You choose whether you use drugs, but you don't choose to be gay. It's the first behavior. It's predetermined. First one. So that's an issue in and of itself. But at the same time, the point that I'm trying to make is if I admit that I wasn't born gay, I'm going to be led into an investigation of what triggered this behavior. That's going to take me down the path of childhood, where I might have to discuss things I've never discussed with anyone, principally the fact that I might have been molested. And I can tell you, no man, black or white, wants to admit or discuss, no matter how young he was, the fact that another man took my innocence from me, especially when they were a virgin when the innocence was taken.
So my people, this one was indeed an interesting one. So, you can honestly leave a comment down in the comment section, and also your own opinion. And you don't know say, me dey upon the Black Unity program, so feel free to leave a like and subscribe to this channel. If you're new, big up to each and everyone. Up until then, peace out, adios.